Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Game and Seb, and today I'm doing a updated Nintendo 3DS collection video. Starting off with the list, we have Pokemon Gold. This is a code in the box release, released about a year and a half ago. I also have Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Crystal. All three 3DS code in the boxes. So yeah, that's cool there. Now to get on to the hard case 3DS games. I have Mario Kart 7. Not much to say other than this is probably the best Mario Kart you can get, minus Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe. Next up, I have a game I got this Halloween, Luigi's Mansion. A fantastic game. This was my favourite GameCube game, but I prefer the sequel. Now I know everyone I spoke to was hyped on about how, oh no, the sequel's not as good as the original because of missing structure, blah blah blah, but I don't care about that. The second one had much more mansions, much more content. This is still a fantastic game, but the second one's in this pile somewhere, and that is my favourite 3DS game. Moving on, we have Metroid Samus Returns. This is pretty much the first Metroid game I ever played, and it's very difficult, I think anyway, because I'm not used to Metroid games, but it is still a lot of fun, and I eagerly anticipate Metroid Prime 4 release next year for Switch. Next up, Super Smash Bros. 3DS, one of my favourite 3DS games. Obviously, I'm playing Ultimate right now, which is, leaps and bounds above this one, but this is still a fantastic entry in the series, and it is absolutely bursting with content. Anybody who owns a 3DS and likes Smash Bros., you have to pick this game up. Next up, we have one of my favourite 3DS games, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. I never played the original on the Nintendo 64, so I didn't really know what I was missing out on. But I played this around September time, took me about a month to complete. I tried to complete as much as I could without looking on the internet to kind of find out how to do things. Very easy to get lost, but such a memorable game, and it is absolutely awesome. I really want to play Breath of the Wild for Switch and Majora's Mask for 3DS as well. But yeah, so this is a great game. Next up, speaking of Zelda, we have Zelda A Link Between Worlds. Played this summer, and this is my first kind of proper Zelda game that I played. Not as good as Ocarina of Time 3D, but still fantastic nonetheless. It's got some amazing puzzles and dungeons, and it's quite a good length as well. It took me, I think, about 26 hours, 27 hours to complete, and it's a bit easier than Ocarina of Time, but it is still fairly challenging. And yeah, it's a good 3DS game. Next up, I'll just show these two together. Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros and Mario and Luigi Paper Jam Bros. Not a huge fan of the Mario and Luigi series, if I'm completely honest. I try and get into them. I think I played this one a couple of months ago. Got about 3 hours in, and I just give up. I just don't really find them that interesting. I know they're good games. I'm not saying they're badly made. Well, at least the earlier in the series are good. It's just they're not my type of games. I much prefer 2D and 3D platformers and the Mario Kart and Smash Bros series and games like that. But yeah, they're good nonetheless. I mean, the one that comes out, the 3DS, I think Bowser's Inside Story, that comes out in January, probably won't be getting that purely because I'm not going to play it. But it depends if I want to get it for collection purposes. Next up, my favourite 3DS game. I know a lot of people don't like this game or don't think it's as good as the original, Luigi's Mansion 2. At the end of the day, it's your opinion. I get that, but just stop hating on this game because it is amazing, and I just think it's so good. Especially the first Spider Boss. I really like that, and then also the finale with King Boo and how you go through different phases and you run away from him, and then you're in kind of like a grid. And you've got to defeat him that way and everything, and it's just a masterpiece. Cannot wait for Luigi's Mansion 3 next year on Switch. Definitely cannot wait. Also, one of my favourite 3DS games, the first one I've ever played, Super Mario 3D Land. Not as good as 3D World, still fantastic nonetheless. A great entry in the Mario series. If you own a 3DS, you owe it to yourself to pick this up. Next up, a game I've not actually got around to playing yet, and I kind of regret buying because I brought it and I kind of figured it was something a bit different than what it actually was, looking at the reviews. But it is Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. From what I've watched on IGN, I think that's Game Trailers or GameSpot or whatever, the way that they described this game, they said that it's kind of unplayable in single player mode. You kind of need 4 players to really enjoy this game. I'm not really a huge multiplayer gamer, to be honest. I mean, obviously games like Smash Bros and Mario Kart and games like that, you know, it's better to play with people. But games like this, I'm much more a single player solo adventure kind of guy, and I don't think you can really do that with this game. I mean, I suppose I should check it out for myself, but from what I've been told, it's not actually that great. So yeah, I kind of almost regret buying this, but never mind, it's one for the collection. Another game I've not got around to playing yet, which I will do probably next year, is Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. If it's anything like Ocarina of Time 3D, then I'm really going to enjoy this. I've heard great things about it. I've heard how great it was on the N64 back in the day, and yeah, I really want to experience this for myself. But I only play one game at a time. I'm not one of these gamers that literally tiptoe around 7 or 8 games and never actually complete one. You know, play an hour of this game and then don't play it again for a month, and then go back to it, play another couple of hours and play a bit of this, play a bit of that. I hate doing that. I like playing one game at a time. I like fully enjoying and experiencing the game as much as I want to do with it, and I kind of leave it and then go on to another game, and then maybe, well, I will in the future, if I really enjoy it, I'll go back to it again several months or a year later or something. That way, I can put my focus and attention on one game, play it and enjoy it, and then just leave it. Because if you're playing several games at a time, you know, you have the old backlog of shame. I hate doing that. I don't know what it's me. I have some sort of kind of OCD with it. I just hate doing it. I hate playing several games at one time. Maximum I'll ever play at one time is 2, and that will be if you know, if I'm playing through a game and then another game I've really wanted to play for a long while, which has been released, I'll then want to go ahead and play that. But yeah, in general, you know, I'll just play one game at a time so I can fully enjoy it and then move on. But yeah, so that's what that's why I've not played this game yet, but I will play it probably in January. Next up, a port of the Wii U game, Poochy and Yoshi's Woolly World. Doesn't look or sound as nice as the Wii U version. Not really too interested in the Poochy clips that come with this game, but it's still a fun game. It's very easy. It's kind of like, you know, it's nowhere near on the same level as like Donkey Kong Country or, you know, Super Mario Bros. Or anything like that. But it's, as far as 2D platforms go, it's pretty good. Oh, speaking of Yoshi, we have Yoshi's New Island. I actually probably prefer this over... Actually, no, I don't. I prefer the 3DS version over, because it's a core 3DS game. This is a port. But if you're going to compare Yoshi's New Island to the original Yoshi's Island, at least, the original Yoshi's Island is way better. And also Yoshi's Woolly World, I think, is better than this as well. But this is still pretty good. But again, like Woolly's World, it is way too easy. Mario Sonic London 2012 Olympic Games. Don't really play. Mario Sports Superstars, I actually think it's pretty underrated. I actually quite enjoy it. Shame about the golf and baseball. I think they really kind of ruined this game. But the horse riding, the football and the tennis, I thought are actually pretty good. So yeah, it gets a lot of hate. And people say, oh, it's a cash grab and everything. But, you know, I think that's actually pretty fun. They did an okay job with it. Super Mario Maker 3DS, again, I quite like this game. I actually prefer it over the Wii U version, purely because of the single-player campaign. Like I mentioned, I really do enjoy playing these single-player games. However, it is clear it does lack a lot of the online capabilities that the Wii version offered, which is a bit stupid, especially as this was released after the Wii U version rather than before. Wouldn't have been as bad had it come out first, but you can't release a game a year before and have it, you know, be able to share levels online and everything, and then release a game on the handheld and just not have the same features. Just doesn't work, and a lot of people didn't like that. Next up, we have a couple more coding boxes, but these are hard cases. Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move, and then Minis March Again, and Mario vs Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. The Mario and Donkey Kong series, I mean, they've just put less and less effort in over the years on this series. I loved the first one. I thought the second and third one were okay, and then after that, they're just getting rubbish. It's not really a proper game. I mean, they could put so much more effort into this. I really hope they can revive the series onto the Nintendo Switch and make a kind of a much more HD, fleshed out Mario vs Donkey Kong game. I think that would be amazing. Whether they actually will or not, I don't know. It's a dead series now. I mean, it's been a good 3 years since Tipping Stars was released. I think there was another one, Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. That doesn't count. That's not a proper Mario vs Donkey Kong game. I don't think we'll ever see a Mario vs Donkey Kong game like the original anymore for the Game Boy Advance, but we can only hope. But yeah, they're cool. I like to have these, and I think these actually will be rare in the future, because I can't imagine too many people actually owning these games. Not in the physical form. Anyway, Mario, what's it called? Puzzles and Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition, it's rubbish. Ultimate NES Remix, it's okay, nothing special. Mario Tennis Open is pretty good. Not as good as Mario Tennis Aces. I played this, I hammered it just before Aces come out because I thought as soon as Aces come out, I'm not going to go back to playing something like this, at least not for a very long time. And like I mentioned, I'm a one game at a time kind of guy. But yeah, it's good enough. It's better than whatchamacallit, better than the Wii U version, definitely. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, that was again that was rubbish. Next up, Mario and Luigi Superstar Sega plus Bowser's Minions. Again, it's a remake. I tried to play it, I really did. I think I got about 20 hours into this one, and I just lost interest. Didn't hold my attention for any longer than that. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Need to get around to playing this. I haven't played it yet. It's pretty good. Mario Party the Top 100. I've actually had quite a lot of fun with this game. Haven't played it in ages. It come out about a year ago, and yeah, it's again another game that got absolutely poor reviews. I get it, there are things that are wrong with it. I think the boards are a bit bland and whatnot, but it still deserves more than 5 out of 10 or whatever it is that it got. Again, it's just a little hating on Mario on the 3DS. You know, it seems to be a theme. But yeah, Mario Party Star Rush and Mario Party Island Tour, again, kind of got the same treatment as Mario Party the Top 100. But yeah, that's that. Next up, I have Paper Mario Sticker Star. This game is universally hated, at least from what I can see. I can kind of see why. I don't really think it has the same mechanics and the same solid gameplay as the Thousand Year Door or Super Paper Mario. But again, with Paper Mario as well, I'm not a huge fan of the series, like with the Mario and Luigi RPG series. So I don't really have too much to say on this game. But yeah, put that there. Next up, have Mario Golf World Tour. Don't really like it. Not a huge fan of Mario Golf games either. I suck at them as well. That's probably something to do with it. Next up, Pokemon Moon. One of my favourite Pokemon games. I'm really glad I gave this a second chance. Because when I initially played it, I didn't like it. Thought it was too different. Didn't like the Kahunas and etc. But it really is a good game. Also, I have Pokemon Ultra Sun as well, which is pretty much the same game. There's a few differences. Well, there's a lot of differences, but they're really kind of little tiny differences. If you play through this and then you want to go ahead and play through that, unless you're a huge Pokemon fan, I wouldn't recommend it because I just got bored. I played this, I think I got 30 hours, enjoyed it, loved it. Played this 15 hours in, or even 10 hours in. I was just like, yeah, it's the same game, you know, basically. So, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, a great port of a fantastic Wii game. Never played the Wii original. But I'm really glad I picked this up and played it because it is awesome. If you love 2D platformers and you love a challenge, this and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze are fantastic. Next up, we have WarioWare Gold. I love this game. This is probably my favourite WarioWare game. Aside from maybe WarioWare Touched or Smooth Moves, it's just got a lot of content on. If you love unlockables and something that's got a lot of replay value, this is the game for you. Again, underrated because yes, I get it, it's a retread, it's been done before, but if you're just going to judge it, it's just a game and you're comparing it to the rest of the series, this one definitely stands out, and it just happens to be on the Nintendo 3DS, which is great. Next up, Detective Pikachu. My problem with this game is it doesn't have a lot of replay value. You've played it through, if you've seen the story, you won't really want to play it again. However, when you do play it through the first time, it is actually pretty fun, it is actually pretty good. I like it, I'm really, I will be watching the movie that they release next year. I'll be going to see that, no shame, don't care, I want to see what it is. Next up, Kirby Planet Robobot, probably my favourite Kirby game. Better than Triple Deluxe, which is somewhere in this pile as well. Let's grab that, there we go. Still good, but this is definitely better. And I also have New Super Mario Bros. 2, classic 2D Mario action. Again, it's a bit like it's all been done before, sounds and looks the same. But it's still fun, so much replayability. A game I will always go back to, and it is definitely one of my favourite 3DS games. And you can get it as well bundled with a Nintendo 2DS console for $79.99, I believe. So you should go ahead and pick it up if you don't own a DS. If you don't own a DS and you want to get a 2DS. Next up, Pokemon X. Again, this is I believe this was the first Pokemon game released on the 3DS, and it is one of the I wouldn't say one of the best Pokemon games, but it's better than a lot of them. I think it's better than Diamond and Pearl, I think it's better than Black and White, and I think it's better than Ruby and Sapphire. Not as good as Red and Blue, Gold and Silver or Sun and Moon, or even the Let's Go games. I know they're remakes, but the Let's Go games are fantastic. I had a lot of fun with the Eevee version this past November. But yeah. And my last Nintendo 3DS game is also Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Great remake, but I prefer Pokemon X. So yeah, they're all my Nintendo 3DS games. I won't be buying much more 3DS games, to be honest with you. I've pretty much got all the ones I want. Any games that they released this year, that they announced in January that they release next year, if there's any ones that I'm interested in, I'll go ahead and pick them up. But other than that, it's all really just going to be focusing on the Nintendo Switch and any other new piece of hardware that Nintendo bring out, if any. I know there are talks about a Nintendo Switch Pro or Mini coming out next Christmas, so we'll have to see exactly what that entails and if it's a new set of games for them or if it's just the current games with just an updated hardware, which it most likely will be. But yeah, that is my entire 3DS collection. I love the Nintendo 3DS. It's quite possibly my favourite Nintendo system of all time. Let me know in the comments what games are your favourite Nintendo 3DS games and what games you have in your collection that maybe I don't have, that maybe you could recommend, or, you know, tell me about how much you enjoy it or how much you hate it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like or subscribe, and I will see you guys again in future videos. Goodbye.